Hello students, now let us start the next topic of the chapter number 7, lenses. Here in this topic we are going to study the defects of vision and their correction. Now when we consider about the defects of vision, we find that there are three types of defects of vision: nearsightedness, or it is also called as myopia. Second one is farsightedness, or it is also called as hypermetropia, and third one is called as presbyopia. Right, now let us start the first with the nearsightedness, or it is also called as myopia. When there is a question, write a short note on nearsightedness or myopia. At that time you have to consider the 4 points. Which are that 4 points? You have to write about the definition of myopia, diagram, reason for the myopia, and what is the remedy to cure or for the correctness of nearsightedness or myopia. Right, now let us start with the nearsightedness or myopia. In this case, the eye can see nearby object clearly but cannot see the distinct object clearly. Now this words itself gives us the meaning. Near object can be seen easily but cannot be seen distinct object clearly. This type of defect of vision is called as nearsightedness or myopia. Now when we are going to consider what are the reason behind the formation of myopia or nearsightedness, there are two reasons. The first one is that the curvature of the cornea, of the lens increases, or the muscles near the eye cannot react, so that the converging power of the lens becomes large. Second one, the eyeball elongated, so that the distance between the lens and the retina increases. It means that when we are going to observe the diagram of nearsightedness, now see, this is the diagram of nearsightedness or myopia. Nearby object can be seen clearly. Here we find that the object is placed here. The rays coming from that object enters into the eye with the help of this lens, and the image is formed on the retina. But in case of nearsightedness, we find that the image is formed in front of the retina and behind the lens. Now this can be cured. Nearsightedness or myopia can be cured with the help of by using a proper power lens, which is known as concave lens with proper power, and due to that we find that the image is again formed on the retina. This is the diagram of nearsightedness or myopia, and this is the remedy, that is by using proper convex lens we can easily right. Now second, the farsightedness. Now what is meant by farsightedness? In this case, the human eye can see distinct object clearly. दूरवरची वस्तू आपण स्पष्टपणे पाहू शकतो, but cannot see nearby object clearly. Now let us try to understand what are the reason to form the farsightedness or hypermetropia. There are again two reasons. First one is the curvature of the cornea and eye lens decreases, so that the converging power of the lens becomes less. Right, converging power becomes less. And second, due to the flattening of the eyeball. In case of nearsightedness, we find that the eyeball elongates, but in case of farsightedness, we find that the eyeball gets flattened, so that the distance between the retina and the lens decreases. And when the distance between the retina and lens decreases, at that time we find that the image is formed behind the retina. It is not formed in front of the retina, as in case of myopia. Right, now let us see the diagram of that. Now here, farsightedness or hypermetropia. Now here, what is the reason behind this? Ciliary muscles become weak. Right, that is the converging power decreases. Right, here when we observe that the normal human eye, here the image is formed on the retina. Now here when the ciliary muscles become weak, hence the converging power of the eye lens decreases, and so that the image is formed behind the retina. So the image is formed behind the retina. By using proper power of convex lens, we can easily remove the hypermetropia or farsightedness defect of vision. Now here in case of myopia there is use of concave lens, and in case of hypermetropia there is use of convex lens is essential. With the help of concave lens and convex lens we can easily remove the defects of vision like myopia and hypermetropia. Now let us consider about the third defect of eye, that is nothing but presbyopia. Generally, when we consider the old people, in that time the focusing power of the lens decreases as our age goes on increasing. At that time we find that the lens lose their ability to change the focal length. At that time we find that the lens lose their ability to change the focal length, and due to that sometimes we find that there is a myopia, there is a hypermetropia, and here sometimes people suffer from nearsightedness, that is myopia, or farsightedness, that is the hypermetropia. In such a case bifocal lens are required. Here in such a case bifocal lens are required to correct this defect. Now this defect is based properly on this defect is generally depend upon the age factor, where we find that the lens lose their ability to change their focal length. Here both the type of, that is myopia and hypermetropia, both type of defects we are observed, and for that we have to use the lenses which is known as bifocal lenses. That is, here we can use concave lens as well as convex lens to correct that defect. It is the defect due to the age factor. Okay. Now let us consider the next topic, that is apparent size of object. Now try to understand what is meant by apparent size of object. Now in this figure you are observe that there are two objects PQ and P1Q1, both are have same size and they are kept at a different distances from our eye. They are kept at a different distances from our eye. Now here we find that the object PQ, make an angle alpha, and object P1Q1 makes an angle beta with respect to our eye. Now here we find that the object PQ appears, bigger than P1Q1, Now see here what I am going to repeat. The object PQ appears bigger than P1Q1. Thus, the apparent size of an object depends on the angle subtended by the object at the eye. Now, from this we can see that thus the apparent size of an object depends on the angle subtended by the object at the eye. This is nothing but the apparent size of an object, right? Now, let us stop here, and in the next lecture we are going to see simple microscope, compound microscope and telescope. Thank you.